Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Creative Brainx Studio. This is Isaac. In today's video, we're going to learn how to design this simple yet awesome flyer with Adobe Photoshop. I'm very sure that in the previous video, you followed and you have Adobe Photoshop installed. If you missed the previous episode, kindly check the description for the link. Watch, install, and then come back and let's design this amazing flyer. If you like this video, kindly hit the subscribe button and also like this video. Without wasting much time, let's get started. So you start by closing this one, so we start from scratch. We start by creating a new document. Those of us with Adobe Photoshop CC can create with this button here. Those of us using Adobe Photoshop CC and previous versions can as well click on the file menu here and then new, and then we get this new document modal or window. So we start by providing dimensions for our document or our paper. We will select centimeters from here, and then with the width we provide 18.63 centimeters, and also with a height of 21.17 centimeters. We leave our resolution 300 pixels per inch. An RGB color, that will be for our color mode, and 8 bits. Background content should be white, and then we will leave to square pixels. So we just change the width and then the height, and then we leave default. So let's click on create to create a new document for us. So we have our new sheet where we can start fresh and design the same thing we saw earlier on. And so we are going to add a gradient overlay to our background. So let's come down here, click on this icon here, create new fill or adjustment layer. So we click on it and then we select gradients. This brings up the gradient fill, and then we have to provide our color and then the style of our gradient. So we select linear, an angle of 77 degrees, and then our scale we set to 95%. Then we set it to reverse. So we're going to change that color to. So we let's select any of these because we're going to change the colors. And then for the 0% location, we are going to give it a color of 705448. Don't worry about the colors, you don't just have to keep them in mind. You can always Google for the hex code for any color you want to use. So that will be for our first color, and then we are going to provide another color at location 25%. So this is a scale of 100%. So this is 0%, this is 100%. So for the 100%, we are going to provide a color of 573023. That will be for the 100% location. As I said earlier on, we need one for 25%. So for the location, I'll just provide 25% here, and then I will change the hex code as well. With the 25% location, I'll provide a color of 563F, then 33. Then I'll as well provide another color at location 62. That is 62%, and I'll change the hex code as well. So at 62 we have 4C3228. That will be a color for location 62%. Then we leave default for the other settings, and then click on OK, and then OK. So that will be for our background. So in order not to move this layer around, we will lock it just to be safe. So our background is set. We can start writing the text on it. So our next step is to design our header, where we have our logo and then the name of the shop. So from the original design, we saw that we had a rectangle here. So we draw a rectangle using the rectangle tool selected from here. We select our rectangle tool. If you want other tools, you just right click on this and you have these tools at your disposal. but for now we just need a rectangle too, so we select and we draw the rectangle. We are going to give it an angle of -5.41 just to keep it slanted. With our rectangle set, we can just adjust it a little bit, move it up, and then it's okay. Then we change the color for this rectangle. We're going to add a gradient to this rectangle, so let's right click on this rectangle and then click on blending options. That's the first option in the list that appears. Then let's select gradient overlay, and then we are going to set the scale to 36%, the angle of 95, reverse, linear, and then with our color, we click on the color here to edit the content. This time we are going to have only two locations, 0% and then 100%. At 100%, our hex code for 100% will be 250F09. Then for 0%, we have 74381E. These will be our colors for the rectangle on top. So that is for this one. So the same way we did the other, let's lock this layer. And the reason why we lock is to not to distort the layers, because if this layer is not locked and I try moving, it will move, and we might not want that in future. So we just lock it so that it's not movable anymore. Next is to add a border, an inner border to this rectangle on top here. So we draw a rectangle which is a little bit smaller than the one we have here. This time we are not going to fill it, and then we give it color with hex code F9C786, and then size of 10 pixels. Let's extend it a little bit so that we will be safe. And then let's give it an angle of -5.41, just as the one at the background. So we adjust it. So now I'm using my arrow keys and then a shift key. So now our design is taking shape, and we lock this layer as well. Next, we are going to bring in our logo. And so we draw our rectangle here, and our rectangle this time will have a fill of white. So our hex code will be FFF for the fill, and this time it has no border, so we take the border off. Our rectangle must have a size of 331 pixels for the width and a height of 529 pixels. That's cool. You can just bring it up a little bit here. That's cool. But then we can bring in our logo. So we just grab our logo from our folder. So we have our logo here. Just drag it and drop it here. Wonderful. So let's just resize it, holding down the shift so that we have an even size, and then we can just move it onto our background. So I can move it with the shift plus the arrow keys just to place it at the right spot. That is it for our logo and its background. Next is our text for this header here. Bring up our text tool. So with this T here, we just select this T, and then we have the option to type what we want to type. So we just click anywhere and type the name of our shop, and our shop is called Mama G's Delight So that will be for the first one. Don't worry, you can just press Ctrl A to select all, and then we can reduce the size. So we're going to use a size of 42 points. That's cool. We move it up a bit, and then change the font type to Lovely Home regular. That will be our font, and then we give it an angle of -5.41. That's cool. Let's just position it well. So we'll leave it somewhere here, and then let's just play around it here, and then let's move our logo a bit backwards. That's great. Next, we need to change the color for our text. So we select our text again, press T for our text tool, or click T, the icon here on the tools bar, and then we can change the color. So we provide a hex code for the text, and that is DFC67B. That will be the color for our text. And gradually our design is taking shape. Next, we are going to add our simple text that was located down here. So the same way, we select our text tool, and then we type out food and more. This time we are not going to use Lovely Home, we are going to use Brainx medium. With a size of 20 points, and then our color will be white, that is FFF. So we can move it up a bit and position it. We just need to play around this. Okay, next we type out our menu. So we select our, this time I'm using the shortcuts because it makes me more efficient. I clicked on T to select the text tool, and then I click outside, then type out try our menu. And then I'm going to use a different font for this, and the font is called Regency Scripts. I will leave links to all these resources in the video description so that you can download these fonts and follow the tutorial. I'll leave it at regular and a font size of 59 points. Great. And then I'll leave the color as white, that is FFF. So we just position it well, and then wonderful. Our design is gradually taking shape. Next, we are going to introduce our menu. We have 5 items. Looking at the design we saw earlier on, we have 5 items on our menu, and we need to bring them all here. So first, we are going to introduce our quiche, bring in our quiche. But before that, we need to draw our rectangle. So we draw out our rectangle and give it a width of 434.95 and a height of 297.4, and then a fill of white FFF, and also I'll give it a stroke with the same whites and size of 10 pixels. We will understand why I'm giving it a stroke of white when we bring in our picture. Let's bring in our case picture from our resource folder, so we can see our case here. So I'll just drag and drop it onto our design, onto our rectangle here, and then I'll just resize it using my shift and then the controls here. I'll just move it up. Please make sure your image is on top of your rectangle or your shape, because we are going to clip it inside this rectangle. Let's increase the size a bit. And once the size is okay and it's on our rectangle, let's right click on the cache layer or our image and then select create clipping mask. The moment we click on this, we see it pushes our image inside our rectangle. And the reason for the stroke, we see now, even though our image is embedded inside the rectangle, you can still have an outline of white, which makes our design or our image stand out. Okay, so let's reposition our image so that our case will just play around it, and I think it looks okay now. So that is for our cache. We will now type the description and then the title for this one, so that readers can, or our customers will know what we are serving them. So one, we are going to bring the title for this, and we are going to use a font called Poppins. We've used that earlier on, Poppins, but this time we're going to use regular and a size of 15.45, and then the color we leave to white. So we type the name cache, and we just reposition it. So I think our image has moved. So as I said earlier on, it is advisable we lock it just to avoid these problems. So cache, we move cache here, and then we type out the description for cache. So the same way I click T to select my text tool, sorry. And then this time I will not just click, I will draw my text box so that I can type long text. So that is for my description. This will have size of 11.33, and I think it looks okay. This should be 15, not 14. So I'll type the description for cache. Alright, so that is for our cache. We have our image here, the title, and the description also set. So I'll just run through the video. I'll just duplicate and then create the other 4 layer or other 4 menu items. So I just select everything this way, press Ctrl J to duplicate, and then I will move the duplicated item with shift and down until it gets to where I want it to be. I think this. Now our menu is ready, so we just need to add our location and our contact details so that our customers can reach us. So we bring in our location icon. That's great. And then let's right click on our layer, click on blending options, and then color overlay, let's set to white. file menu. Great. And then let's just give this text some bit of shadow just to make it stand out. So right click on it, blending options, then let's select shadow, and then let's opacity 41, distance 20, size 38. I think that looks good. We click on OK, and then that is our design. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you liked this video, kindly subscribe and like this video for me. See you in the next video. Bye bye.